Congratulations for choosing the red pill, because you're going to go even deeper down the rabbit hole and encounter an experience that will awaken the reality architect in you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do. Let's start at the beginning. We are diving into the concept of the holographic universe and how the world around us could be a hologram constructed by our minds. The people who are able to shift this hologram, break the boundaries of human potential, and accomplish seemingly impossible things we call reality architects. But the simple, most important lesson is this: each and every one of us is a reality architect. We are all born with an innate ability to shift our holograms, create our own realities, and change our lives in profound ways. To connect with this ability, all you need to do is wake up. But how? Let's travel back to 1966, to the sleepy town of Laredo, Texas, where radio repairman Jose Silva made a fascinating discovery. Aside from his full-time job, Silva was intensely passionate about hypnosis and the workings of the human mind. He spent his days repairing radios and his nights studying the works of Freud, Jung, and Adler. Silva studied for years, but his turning point came when he had an epiphany. As an engineer, Silva knew that reducing the resistance in an electrical wire allowed more electricity to flow through it. This was called Ohm's law. But then he thought to himself, what would happen if, just like an electrical wire, you could also reduce the resistance in the human mind? Silva was determined to find out. So he began performing tests on people using hypnosis, autosuggestion, meditation, and remote viewing. Through these tests, he found profound changes in people whose brain waves were lowered to the alpha and theta levels. In this state, they became more intuitive. Creativity levels soared, stress melted away, focus, drive, and energy levels spiked, and in some cases, pain subsided and symptoms of illness vanished. Many of these people went on to accomplish amazing, sometimes impossible things, like Helen Hadsel, who wins every contest she enters, Burt Goldman, who's mastered multiple skills just before his 80th birthday, Christy Marie Sheldon, who developed an unusual gift for reading people's energy fields, and Frank, the man who shocked doctors by overcoming throat cancer. These people had one thing in common. They're all graduates of the Silva method. All these people were trained to shift their holograms and change their realities by using the Silva method. Jose Silva spent over 3 decades perfecting his method and training hundreds of thousands of people across the world. He passed away in 1999, but his mission is carried on by his family and instructors through an organization known as the Silva Method. To date, the Silva Method has spread Silva's teachings to over 6 million people in 110 countries. The Silva Method's goal is to refine and perfect the process of hologram shifting so that anyone can efficiently and easily awaken their inner reality architect.
One of my favorite memories when staying at my grandparents' house was when my grandfather would sing opera. He would come home from work every day and he would put on a record and just sing opera for hours. And sometimes I would go downstairs and kind of sit next to him and just see him and listen to him, and he was always in his own little world. It was like his form of meditation almost. He would just sing for hours and hours and wouldn't even really pay attention to me or my sister. It's like we weren't even there. He was just in the zone, just singing for a long time. But I thought it was his own little form of meditation. I think growing up as a child, I realized that we were learning things that other kids weren't learning, especially when we would practice dream control stuff. When we were little, my mom would, whenever we would have nightmares, my mom would tell us, you just see the monster and point at the monster and bring him down, 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 down until he's super tiny, and just pick him up and put him in your hand and squash him and get rid of your monster. And it was things that other kids weren't really doing, and it was kind of only my sister and I, so that's when I kind of noticed that we were learning another method of some sort. I've been surrounded by a lot of successful people. Just for example, my mom was Businesswoman of the Year in Laredo, and my brother just won a Grammy. My sister's been traveling all over the world. as a professional dancer, just with companies and all sorts of really fun things. So the energy and the positive energy is just really great. One of my favorite stories that my mom tells during her seminars is a story about a woman who helped herself cure herself of breast cancer. So what she did was she used the mirror of the mind, and she pictured her tumor in her breast reducing in size until all the doctors had to do was just go in and kind of clean up the area a little bit. And before she did that, they thought that she was going to have to remove her breast, but with the mirror of the mind, she was able to continuously get better and cure herself of her breast cancer. I remember when my father was really sick, he was admitted into the hospital, and he has a pacemaker, so they were going to have to change out some of the valves, and they thought that they were going to have to do open heart surgery. And my mom, the night before his surgery, went in and did an energy healing pass on him and visualized him well and his heart being healthy and very, strong. And so the next day when the doctors came in, they said that he didn't have to have surgery, and his valves were completely clean. All they had to do was replace the pacemaker and the battery, and he was good to go. And it was basically because of the energy pass that my mom had done and the visualization techniques that she had done on him the night before. There's an amazing story that my mom also tells in seminars, and it's about this lady who had this amazing nursery, and she had the best fruits and vegetables in all of the city. And so what she would do is she would talk to her plants, and she would energize the water. She watered the plants. So she had an idea to energize her shower head in a glass of water for her to lose weight because she was a bit overweight. So she pictured that the water coming out of the shower head would melt away her fat. So every day when she showered, before she would get up to go to work, after she was watering her plants, and before she went to sleep, she would imagine herself and the water coming out of the shower head just melting away her fat. And she ended up losing a large amount of weight, and now she's fit and healthy, and she still has the greatest plants and vegetables in the city. And it was a really great story to hear that. It's great being a part of the Silva method now because I get to read all these amazing stories. All these success stories that come into us are just so wonderful to read. Just like I did some research and found that Green Mountain Coffee makes all their employees do the Silva method as part of their training, and that's just wonderful. And Richard Bach finished his book using the Silva techniques, and I think it's really cool to see that this is something that I practice too, and it's been so successful for other people, and I'm just excited that it's also been so successful for me as well. I've personally had a lot of success with the Silva method techniques. I remember as we got a little bit older in high school, my sister and I were both in a dance studio, and as we got a little bit older, we were asked to do our own solos in dance. And I remember being backstage and using the 3 fingers technique when I would be nervous right before, and I would put my 3 fingers together and make a point of reference on how I would feel after my dance went flawlessly. And I would even picture myself at dinner with my family afterwards with flowers and everything, and everyone telling me I did such a great job. And I knew that it was going to happen. I knew I was going to dance this dance flawlessly, and I knew it was going to be perfect and beautiful, and I would just picture my whole family telling me how amazing I did, and it always came true. I always did really well, and when I would sit down at dinner with my family, I would be like, this is exactly what I pictured. This is exactly what happened right before, and my nerves went away because I knew it was going to be okay. I knew I was going to do well. I remember also in college, I was feeling very sick, and I was during finals, and I was right about to graduate, and I think I almost created my own sickness because I was so nervous about finals and graduation, but I had a big final coming up, and I called my mom really concerned about not being able to study as well and not being super prepared for my final, and she said, you know what, Sara, just go across the street, get everything you need for chicken and vegetable soup, and come back and make it, and call me when you're done. And I said, okay. So I went, got all the groceries, and came back and made chicken soup, and I called her when I was done, and she said, okay, now put me on speaker and extend your hands over the soup. And she said, make sure the water's not boiling. We're going to energize the water for you to get healthy. So I said, okay. So she's like, I'm putting my hands out too, and picture my hands over your hands, and this blue-white energy coming out, energizing their soup. And close your eyes and picture yourself right now, how you feel, down and sick and unprepared, and then now erase that image from your head and picture yourself after your final. Very successful. You knew you had aced everything. You were done telling your roommates and your best friends about how well your final went, and you were so excited about graduation, and really make a point of reference and step into that picture and see how it feels. So together we energized my soup, and I made all the visualizations that she told me to do, and afterwards she was done. She said, okay, Now, you're going to do great. Have a bowl of soup while you study and then go to sleep. Have a good night rest and good luck on your final tomorrow. And I aced it. I did good. The Silva method has a bunch of awesome techniques, and I've used pretty much all of them. There's more than 20 of them, from the dream control when I was little to even now. I never have problems sleeping at all. And the glass of water technique, energizing water, is just really simple and easy, and you can solve so many problems like that. But I think that one of my favorite is the mirror of the mind, because it's been so successful for me. I would always picture just myself in one frame and how I felt then, and erase it and then just shift my focus to the next frame, and everything was so happy in that frame. I knew I wanted to be like that, so I would just step into it, and I've had so much success with it. And I almost think it was because my mom had such success with it as well, and she always tells it in her seminars how it was one of her favorite, and it's one that she had us use a lot because I think it was one that was more successful for her.
There are 3 primary steps to the mirror of the mind technique. The first step is meditation or relaxation. The second step is to understand the problem. And the third step is to discover the solution. Here's how it works. When you have a problem that you can't seem to deal with or find the solution to, especially if you're feeling really conflicted and you just don't know what to do, then this is the perfect technique. The first step is to relax your body and your mind with the 3-2-1 method. If you're not familiar with the 3-2-1 method yet, that's okay. If you're practicing, you can try your own meditation technique. The second step is to understand the problem. So when you've reached a nice level of relaxation, you imagine a full-length mirror with a blue frame on your mental screen out in front of you. Put the problem onto the mirror with the blue frame and study the situation or problem from this vantage point. Get clear on what the problem is. Discover what caused it and what's really going on. And be sure to be real with yourself, because every situation is an opportunity for learning. The third step is to discover the solution. So when the problem is fully played out and you're clear on what's going on, take out an eraser in your mind and completely erase the problem from the mirror. Then move the mirror to the left and change the frame from blue to white. Then project the solution onto the mirror. And with that solution there, keep your eye and mental focus on that goal. So, now that you know how the mirror of the mind works, the next step is to try it for yourself. Over the next few days, we'll be releasing a training video where you will enter the alpha level of mind and learn how to apply the mirror of mind to an important area of your life. You're going to love this video because many Silva Method students tell us they get instant results from doing this exercise. They report instant mind shifts, profound personal realizations, and even inexplicable coincidences and synchronicities. So you may get inspired ideas popping into your head, the right person coming into your life at the right moment, or you may randomly stumble across a book that changes your life. But before the video goes live, here's an important training tip from Jose Silva. You must build up your belief system by recalling past moments when you've been successful at manifesting something you desire. We've all done it. We've all achieved something we really want. So now take a moment, close your eyes. No, I mean really, right now, sit down, relax, and close your eyes. And then remember a time when you achieved what you truly wanted. Take a moment. Feel the joy and the passion, or whatever you experienced, of that moment of having what you really want. Maybe it was getting a raise at work, or connecting with your best friend from high school, or maybe it was losing that excess weight around your belly. So now, open your eyes, lean forward, and take a minute to describe that moment in time in the comments section below this video. This is called positive reinforcement. You're actually enhancing your belief system by remembering a memory of past success. Now for the fun part. Read all of the comments other people have left below, then invite your friends to come and like your story, because the most popular story will win a free iPad. This iPad will come fully loaded with all of the Silva Method's home training programs on it, even programs never released to the public. So again, remember that the story with the most number of likes wins the iPad. So go ahead, leave your comment, invite your friends, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.